Have you ever been on a date? What about a horrible date? What about an embarrassing date? What about a horribly embarrassing date? Today, I'm going to tell you my worst date ever so far. What's up, fam? It's story time, and I'm gonna share with you the worst date I've ever had. Why? Why not? So let's dive right into this. I met this girl in high school, and we stayed friends for a couple of years, so this took place sometime in my early college years. The thing is, since I first met her, I had a pretty big crush on her, and I think she knew this. I mean, we even shared a drunk kiss at one point. But the thing was, we were drunk, and we never talked about it. So, awkward. Point being, I wasn't sure if she liked me, to use the third grade term. So one day, I couldn't take it anymore, okay? After 2 years of friendship and thinking, does she like me because I like her, I finally decided to call her up. Hey, so I want to take you out on a date. Oh, a date? Yeah, like I pay for your dinner date. I was so smooth. Okay. Okay. Yeah, sure. That might be fun. Okay, cool. I'll pick you up at 8. Because that's what they say in all the movies. So I get to her house. Let's call her Sheila, okay? I get to Sheila's house, I ring the doorbell, she answers it and says, "Sup?" And my overanalyzing mind thinks, is she trying to make this informal? Is it because she's nervous? These are the questions I must ask myself. Either way, we hug, get into the car, and drive over to the restaurant. The hostess tells us it's going to be a 10-minute wait unless we take a high bar table by the bar. I look at Sheila, and she says, "Whatever you want." But here's the thing, now that I'm on an official date with Sheila, I'm actually pretty nervous. And this is made very apparent to me by the fact that I freeze in indecision, torn between looking at Sheila and the slowly growing impatient hostess. Finally, Sheila interjects abruptly. "We'll take the table." We get to the table and it's dirty. It's sticky. Sheila is grossed out. And I say, okay, well, I'll flag down the nearest employee and we'll get this sorted out. 2 minutes go by and nobody sees my anxious face and waving hand. It's a busy Friday night. Finally, Sheila gets up from the table, walks directly to the hostess, comes back, and says, "Okay, they have outdoor seating now, so let's just go outside." I follow Sheila outside, and we finally order our food. So far, I think to myself, this is going really, really well. I immediately notice that Sheila orders the most expensive item on the menu. Not that I care, I just notice these things. Dinner passes by rather uneventfully, and the conversation is very casual, like a conversation we would have as if we were just regularly hanging out. Moreover, she doesn't seem to be picking up on my flirtatious moves, so to speak. So following dinner, Sheila is in the mood for dessert, so she orders the most expensive dessert on the menu. Again, not that I care, I just noticed these things. So dinner wasn't really going that well, but that's okay, because I had a plan. I drive her over and we walk around this beautiful duck pond in Temecula that spans almost an entire park. We walk around for a little bit and then we stop at a bench to sit and talk. I noticed that Sheila places her purse in between us. Not that I cared, I just noticed these things. We talk for another hour and have a pretty good conversation, but shortly afterward it's getting late, so it's time to take Sheila home. We pull up to her driveway and this is when things get good. We're in the car. I put the gear in park. The date is just about ready to end, but I'm still not sure if Sheila has feelings for me. I think to myself, we did kiss at one point, and why would Sheila say yes to a date with me if she didn't at least sort of like me? So finally, I swallowed my pride and decided I needed to know once and for all, at least for the sake of putting all these wandering questions to rest, whether or not Sheila liked me. So I said, do you, find me attractive? And she replied, "Yeah, I think you're good looking." Oh, I see. It's getting really hot in here. At first, I thought that she was finally warming up to me, but then I realized that the engine was still running and I was actually blasting the heat. Just then, I noticed that Sheila was sweating profusely. I immediately killed the engine, and soon after, we were draped by a very thick silence. After a pause that lasted for what seemed like an eternity, I finally took the plunge. I realized it was now or never to discover if Sheila was truly into me. So I said, "So, how about a kiss?" There was another thick, awkward, painfully long pause before Sheila replied, I don't think that's gonna happen." "Okay, well, good night, Sheila." "Good night, Will." And that was it. She opened her door and slammed it without looking back. I felt humiliated, but also very relieved. You see, I knew now that without a shadow of a doubt that Sheila definitely did not like me. All the nagging thoughts that kept me for 2 years wondering if she liked me died with the same finality of the slamming of my car door. And I was free once again to like somebody else. And that was my worst date ever. So far. Thanks for watching, fam. I wish I had something like my free guided meditation to help me soothe my nerves during that time, but I guess that makes you the fortunate ones. So make sure to check that out over here. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next Wednesday. Thanks for watching, guys. Much love.